Good morning. Welcome to Community Voice. I'm your host, Keith Parris. I want to thank everybody for joining us this morning. Good morning, Clark. Good morning, Debo. Good morning,
Good
Jermaine.
morning there, sir.
Good morning. Good morning. Good morning, everyone. I was gonna say something slick,
Uh
um, but I ain't got nothing slick to say.
oh.
Oh, I don't have much time to be that slick. Sly, slick, wicked, 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 wicked. Man. So anyway, good morning, everybody. And I'm glad that Brother Shier called in. I was going to talk about uh, Claudette Colbert this morning. Um, she's one of the sheroes. I think one of the reasons why we're talking about her was she released two books um, later in life, 2022 and 2024. I'll pull that up. But there's all these some so-called unsung sheroes, in the movement, and she wasn't the first. There was another young lady who was also arrested, um, and there were some reasons because this oh, is what people see that they take with them. I know if you saw the documentary that they did on Andrew Young, and he was talking about how because of his complexion, Dr. King would send him to talk to white people, right?
Mhm.
Because he was so fair and they wouldn't be put off by what they see. That was the reality. And there was a couple other things around why Rosa Parks was chosen and not Claudette. A lot of it was class, complexion, and then, as she said, and she admitted, she said she thought that Rosa Parks was a great choice because of Rosa Parks' work prior to her being arrested for refusing to give up her seat. And man, that's almost 61 years ago
Wow.
that happened. 61, no, 71 years ago. Wow. Yeah, it seems like yesterday, but that issue. And if you ever want to show an example of what happens when there's collective resolve um, in order to get something done, the fact that no black people got on the bus, no black people got on the bus, the Montgomery bus boycott, nobody. I back in the day when Commander McGee was over here at Beauty Island and he was protesting how black people were being treated, buying other people's hair and other people's
Still
hair
going on.
products, and people were walking around the picket line,
Yeah.
right? Because sometimes, and this is the thing, you might not. I think Michelle talks about it. Sometimes we have to make sacrifices, and 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 the fact that getting our hair done becomes such a priority as opposed to our freedom. It was something Dee Dee Crimes had did a piece during Black History Month when she was, I think she went back to, because she had graduated from Nicolay. She was dealing with the black students there. And she had then State Senator Gwen Moore, who said that you're more concerned about what goes on your head that's what's in your head, right? And so we have to, but the Montgomery bus boycott was one of the most successful boycotts ever in this history in the country in terms of getting the change that needed to be happen. And just so people don't get it twisted, it wasn't so much because certainly Dr. King, they talk about integration, and there were people there who certainly had their opinion. There are people today who believe like the worst thing that happened to us was integration, right? Because a lot of our black institutions suffered because of integration. Well, and I'll say this as as agnostically as I can, the fact that we even had black businesses was because we couldn't go to white businesses. Okay, white funeral directors weren't going to bury black people. Matter of fact, I was talking to someone and they was talking about our ancestral graveyard down in Ripley, Tennessee, where many of our relatives are buried, and near the church. And we talked about how black people would be buried on church grounds.
Yeah.
They couldn't be buried,
Yeah.
not in white cemeteries. That's why the history of Forest Home Cemetery is so significant here, because Forest Home, and my mom goes, and my mom had been here since 1937. And my mom said that the reason why was Forest Home was one of the few, if not the only, cemetery that would bury Black people in Milwaukee. So, history becomes important. Collectively, what comes important, and I'll deal with this a little bit with my guests as we come in. But Jamal Bryant got more attention based on his wife's dress than he did when he did the boycott against Target. Think about what our priorities are. So I'll talk about that again with our guests. But I just, sometimes, the priorities are such that that people don't always clearly, I don't know if we see the forest for the trees, what happens with us, and collectively what we do. And then some of the same people come, when Black people get together, Black people need to get together. And then you run your behind right out the Target. Okay. And look, it's had impact. It's had impact on his stock. But, sometimes I have to give up, and it's hard for me, things that I might have to give up because there's a greater good. And when we talk about now, some folks don't have a problem coming in here being very negative and pejorative when it comes Black folks talking about other Black folks, right? But there are opportunities out there for us to do things that moves us towards our freedom. What Michelle said, we're gonna have to move from what in order to be free. But anyway,
wanna be free.
Ow. Only Black people can take a grunt,
right,
and make it a lyric.
Yeah.
James Brown, he had a whole career.
Yeah, he did.
You more.
Please.
Please. Ow. Please. Papa got a brand new bag. I heard Dr. Myers say, what? I don't want nobody to give me nothing. Open up the door.
Yeah.
I'll get it myself.
Famous words of James Brown.
James Brown, the philosopher, opened up the door. Get it myself. So anyway, I wanted to shout out, and let me also. Craig had sent us text messages letting us know that there was going to be charging, and so as it relates to his son Craig, and but let me, and you get frustrated. But we're talking now, what, 13 years, 14 years?
I was about to ask you how long.
Yeah.
And it seems like that they want to stretch it out and hope that you either forget or give up, and give up the whole pursuit of finding and getting justice.
Well, and you used that word, and I thought about a quote. I think it's Dr. King who said, "Justice delayed is not justice denied."
Yeah.
But it's sometimes, because though the arc of the moral universe is long and it bends towards justice, that long part is very difficult.
And also too, like in that period of time, because you said it's 13 years?
I think it's 20.
Okay.
13.
Okay, so they could be hoping, well, maybe he won't live that long. Either he'll give up on pursuits. They just hope that it would go away, and quietly that it can go away. But I'm so glad to hear the news that I don't know the actual story, but I do know that it happened, and I'm glad that whether it's now or later, that he's getting some type of justification for losing his son. I can't even imagine.
Yeah, and I like I said, and I was frustrated, because it's like, wow, man. And then and I don't know, and if Craig gets in, he talks about it, but I'm sure there was times that he was just exhausted. That you just you don't really see that, and maybe that says something about the pursuit of justice. And that is not always going to be where, we're going to run in and it's just going to happen, because for every action, there's an equal and opposite reaction. That if I'm pushing towards justice, there are people pushing as hard towards injustice, and so to be able to understand that that's the balance of the world that we live in, but that doesn't mean that justice shouldn't be pursued. So shout out to Craig. and to the family. And when I say shout out, what I'm saying is, man, it is yeah, and thank you for that, because like I said, for many of us, we might walk away because it just doesn't seem like, it's imminent. And maybe because we live in a microwave society where we want everything instantaneously, we realize that certainly when it comes around issues of justice, that may or may not be immediate. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning, Keith.
Hey, what's happening? Is that Rick?
This is Rick from Germany.
What up, Rick?
Are you focused on Dr. King today?
No, tomorrow's his actual birthday, so I'll be focused on him tomorrow. Always focus on Dr. King, but no, tomorrow's his actual birthday.
Okay. I just want to say that I have lived with an intestinal parasite from the CIA for almost 23 years. And the urge to strike at white people, I have to resist, because all white people didn't do this to me. So I just want to say that what's going on with the White House, what's going on with the ICE agents, what's going on with the militia groups there in America, that's not all white people. And many white people seek peace and reconciliation with blacks. You just have to listen and learn who's who there in America. I'm done, Keith.
I appreciate you, man. Yeah. I got really frustrated around George Floyd because not only we had all these things going on, and then I heard, we need to have this conversation about race. And I thought, well, don't tear it up. I need to write something. Side blank. Okay, just can you give me a piece of paper? Okay. But we can have the conversation about race, but if the conversation does not lead to tangible results, then it's just like an empty conversation. It's empty words, and we'll feel good, and we're in the moment, and we feel real good about because we had that conversation. But if I go back to my marginalized space, you don't change that, because part of it is, and I know that this has been the issue. And when we say white folks, right, the majority might have to give up something, and this idea of having to give up something, it was one of the things when they talked about why was Trump so successful and who was Trump targeting. And part of it was they said that white folks are scared of things being taken away from us. I don't know if you all remember the Charlottesville protest, where someone actually lost their life because someone intentionally drove a car into the crowd, and you had these Proud Boys out, and they were marching, and they said, "You will not replace us." This whole idea of something being taken from you, it doesn't. America, that pie is big enough that everybody can eat, and this idea that some folks are more deserving, or whether or not you're deserving of justice, whether or not you're deserving of equality, those kind of things, it just causes frustration for me. So I'll have the conversation with you, but the conversation really, like I said, needs to lead to something tangible that we can actually see. We can have a conversation around justice, but then justice must be done. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Ms. Parris. Thank you for taking my call.
All right, good morning.
Assalamu alaikum to you, brother. What I always, it's like comical for me when I hear, because it's only black people. Black people are the only people on the planet Earth who plead the case of other people when it comes to their own self-determination.
Well, but justice requires that I do support others who are dealing with injustice. It just can't be in that vacuum of just black justice.
Yes, Ms. Parris, understood. Okay. But with it being the reality that justice has never been a friend of us in America or with regard to the entirety of the world. Black people do not receive justice at all unless they do something collectively to pick or prick the consciousness of the oppressor. Black people are always pleading for mercy for Satan. The Bible says that the children of Israel loves the devil so, yet he does nothing for them. That's the description of the devil. And the Bible also says that the children of Israel are blind, deaf, and dumb. We are styled as the blind, deaf, and dumb people of the planet. That's why we get treated the way that we get treated, because we are so busy trying to attend to the affairs of everyone else. And anytime a black person talks about black self-determination, that person is there's an attempt to discredit and to defame or debase that individual. Because no black person, especially those who are considered the bourgeois or bourgeoisie or whatever the hell they call it, that word is, those black people who think that they have arrived in America and that because they think that if something disrupts their comfort, that's going to be the end of them. Those people are the terror that exists amongst the wheat when it comes to us as a whole, a nation of people. Just because a few of us are pulled out of the barrel of crabs, that doesn't mean, what about the rest of the crabs? We have a crab in a barrel mentality, and it's real. You can reject it or accept it. It doesn't make a damn difference to me, because I've lived long enough to see that just because things are supposedly going to change doesn't mean that they are going to change. I've seen this. And with regard to Caucasians being replaced, that has nothing to do with black people. Black people are powerless in that regard.
It has impact, Christopher.
It
has impact because
who are you going to replace, Mr. Parris?
It has impact because then policies and practices are put in place based on that belief.
Mr. Parris, we suffer from irreconcilable differences.
Okay, so let me ask you this question, because at some point, will there ever be justice for black people in this country?
Yes. You know when? And it's about to take place. It's already building up. As the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said in the book, Message to the Black Man in America, Our Savior Has Arrived, and the Fall of America, America's going to go off into war. The war of Armageddon has begun. As the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan has stated, you can take it or leave it, don't matter to me. So once they go, and Europe will become their graveyard. That's what the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad said. And so when these people go off to war, and that's where America's power is going to be broken. And if she does win, it will be a Pyrrhic or Pyrrhic victory.
But you're talking about America. I'm talking about justice. I'm being particular now. Justice for black people.
Well, when America goes off and when she's completely destroyed, there will become your justice. We will never get justice as long as
justice for black people is America being destroyed.
That's right. Take it or leave it.
Okay. All right. Appreciate you. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Good morning. The first thing I want to say is I don't think the devil is all bad, because he got to be good for something if somebody is willing to brag to him. I think the problem is people don't know when the right time to use the devil, because see, people have been put in a certain position to play the bigger person, and what a society is afraid of is you not playing the bigger person. So I don't want to, because all white people is not bad, because if I'm not mistaken, ain't some of these Muslims fathers white? So they can't be too bad. And I think also Christopher, he be having some good points, but I would like to hear what Christopher says, not what somebody else, Balaja Bahaba, I don't know how to pronounce his name, but it would have more understanding if we could hear what Christopher said, not what somebody else said. Because in the because the message can be more understood. So, like, prime example, when Al say, this is what Al said.
Yeah.
This is not what God said or Shabba Wabba Baka said. This is what I said.
Shabba!
And this is not taking jabs at nobody. But we would like to hear, what do Christopher say? Not what somebody put in the book or what somebody programmed him to think, because the message is more powerful when it comes straight from the heart. And that's another thing that society is afraid of. And that goes for some Christians, some Jews, some Muslims, because an independent thinker is more dangerous than a codependent thinker. Have a great day, everybody.
Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning. Good morning.
Yes, my name is Vicki Davidson,
Hey, Vic.
and I heard from one of my elders at my church that you all mentioned me yesterday and the honor that I received and
Okay.
my being on the Kelly Show. And I just want to thank you all for having mentioned myself and my staff in the Green Street Tony Community Learning Center.
Okay. What? And I saw that, but I didn't hear. What church?
Mission of Christ Lutheran Church on 19th Center.
Okay. Okay. All right. Well, appreciate you and congratulations.
Yes, well, thank you again.
All right. You're welcome.
Okay, bye.
All right. Caller. I don't know why they call to get on the air and then they spend 15 minutes talking to
it'd be
talking to
hilarious.
Jermaine. Caller, welcome to the
my
program.
God, it'd be hilarious.
Good morning.
Hey, Mr. Kurd
Oh,
and
boy.
Brother Jermaine.
Yes,
oh,
sir.
my God, goodness. Here's what Christopher has to say. To Mr. Brokeback Mountain by way of Chicago.
No, man, what he was saying, bro, he was saying he was on your side, bro. He was saying that that he agreed with you. He just wanted to hear from your perspective.
And here's the thing. And this becomes, we can disagree, but we don't need to be personal, y'all. I mean, that's part of it, is that we so right, we wrong. And the wrong is how we express the right.
Yeah, now I do have to say, because I normally don't get in between, but Al did say, wait a minute, pause. So let me clear. No Diddy on that. No Diddy. So let me clear. So I had to watch how I phrase stuff
He got
around
like
here,
one
man.
liar show.
Yeah, man. I gotta
he averaged about one a show.
Yeah,
Now, wait a
man.
minute. So
I gotta fix this.
normally I don't get involved. You're always in the middle of it.
No, but seriously, Al just said he was in agreement with Christopher.
Right.
With what he was saying and because the things that Christopher was saying, he got some valid points. However, he was just saying, instead of saying what somebody else said,
Right.
I tell the people that what you say
Like
and
to hear
how
what
you
you-
feel.
Right.
Yeah.
And look, all of us are, not all of us, but many of us are influenced by readings, the writings, people. So all those things go into our psyche, our meology, our theology. So I don't want to get into that, but man, we're not going to get into name calling and disparaging people personally. I can take issue with what you say, but let's not do that, because that's part of what gets in the way of progress, is that then we get in these little parochial battles with each other on a very personal level, and we really should try to deal with the substance as much as possible.
And I think in reality that we missed a point, because that we listen to respond and not to hear sometimes. And if you would really just listen to hear, your response to wouldn't be as wild if you would just take the time and process what you hear. I can't stand you, Keith.
I'm not going to take a call because I want to get. You're listening
Take it.
All right, caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Yeah. I'm gonna be very kind, very professional. The first thing I was just giving a comment,
Yeah.
but I say this from my heart: my back is never broke. Get that together, and it is not my fault. That ain't nobody helping you. Not handle your business, boo. Have a good day.
Yikes. It's getting personal.
And just so we did get a little context to
Yeah,
that term,
please get
broke
some
back.
context.
That was the name of the mountain.
No.
Just to give you a little context. That was the name of the mountain in the movie. and their relationship was on Brokeback Mountain.
Oh my God.
All right, you're listening to
You gonna
Community.
take this last
No,
one?
I'm not going to take this last call. You're listening to Community Voice. I'm going to take a quick break, and we'll be right back. All right, welcome back to Community Voice. And I was telling Clark and Debo and Jermaine did have meatloaf. It was red.
All right.
Monday's question was,
I
how you
gotta
like
make
your
me
meatloaf,
some
red or
too
brown?
now.
Red.
Red. Yeah, it was red.
Yeah.
It was red.
Ketchup, barbecue sauce.
Yeah, I
Yeah,
made
for
sure.
some scalloped potatoes with onions,
Oh.
Mashed
cheese.
potatoes.
whipped potatoes.
Yes, sir. That's
Whip
whip it
Whip
good.
it. Whip it. Well, that voice you heard is that of Dr. Leah Knox. We're gonna try this out. We're gonna do this thing. She was talking about coming on the program, and I said, based on what you do, what would we call it? So we were sitting there brainstorming, and came up with Mind Matters. Mind Matters.
Let's see.
Help us. Help.
Oh, my.
And we talked long and hard.
We talked
and
long
came
and
up
hard
with
about
those
it.
2 words.
Those 2 words.
Brilliant.
But and then what I did was, I don't know if you saw it. Did you put it in there where I had parenthetically S?
Oh yeah.
Okay, cool. All right.
Wait. Go back. Hold on. Take it back real quick.
It ain't quite haiku, but Dr. Knox has been on.
Like that, right?
Yeah.
Well, look at that. Somebody needs to take a picture.
Look at that. Look at there. So, Dr. Leah Knox, welcome back.
Thank you for having me. It is always a good time.
Always a good time. Always a good time. So, we had I got some questions for you. So tell people a little bit about you, just in case people may or may not know.
Sure. My name is Dr. Leah Knox, and I am a mental wellness expert as well as organizational health strategist. I have I'm co-founding Black Space HQ, which is a nonprofit organization that provides free group therapeutic experiences for Black and brown men, women, and LGBTQIA plus communities. Also have a consulting firm called Knox Behavioral Health Solutions. And I go into companies, workplaces, churches, all the above to make sure that staff are trained on mental wellness, how to take care of themselves and others. Also a lot of media work, as well as VIP concierge counseling, where I assist those individuals who may have a forward-facing career or really well known, such as NFL, NBA, so on and so forth. Went to Jackson State University, HBCU.
Go Tigers.
And graduated there, and also Auburn University for my PhD and Concordia for my master's. I come from a line of community activists and those that are strong in power.
You talked about growing up and, being around the Black Panthers. And
Yes.
so seeing that at an early age, what was the impact of that?
Huge impact. My whole world was based around being Black. That was the first thing that came to mind. Also, community service, making sure that our children, including me, received what they needed, which is basic living, food, education, love. Also, just to be strong and be very much 10 toes down about what I believe in, as well as being open to other thoughts and opinions, but mostly just being wonderfully proud to be Black.
All right, so let's get into it.
Yes.
So give me a working definition of the mind.
The mind controls every single thing we say, do, feel, or act upon. Even though the brain is very physical, the mind is something that assists in controlling that brain. It tells our stories. It confuses our stories depending on environmental influences, trauma, or happiness. It also controls how we are healing and feeling physically. It controls our relationships and how we act upon them in our communities, love relationships, platonic, with teachers, employers, friends. The mind is super powerful, and it's most likely the most powerful thing in and on and is affected on our body.
You gave a rather holistic. Can I be a little bit more particular?
Sure.
So when we talk about our mind, our mental, our brain functioning, what then is mental health?
Mental health is the care of our mind and how our mind receives that and then acts upon it. For instance, um, if our mind is healthy, we are having good experiences in life. We are able to effectively manage thoughts, feelings, beliefs, all the above. That is mental wellness, as in we have good, positive mental wellness. However, if there is trauma, if there is a brain injury, if there are things that have come about that, including mental illness, that affect the mind, then our mental health and mental wellness is unhealthy and not doing so well.
What is the well, we can talk about things that are neurological, right?
Yes,
And a lot of times it could be that's what we're dealing with. We're dealing with some type of neurological
absolutely.
imbalance or something else. I was kind of doing just a little research on where we are in terms of disparities
Mhm.
when it comes to health outcomes, certainly around mental health. It's not. Is it that Black people experience more negative mental health episodes, or is it that either it's not being diagnosed or it's not being treated?
Well, first, it's not being recognized. So, in order to be diagnosed or treated, you and others have to recognize that there is an issue or a problem or a challenge. When it comes to disparities in mental health care, first, we are not given or provided the opportunity to even receive healthcare as far as our mental health a lot of times because of affordability, accessibility, awareness. So when we talk about do Black people have more instances of mental health issues, I wouldn't say they have more. I would say that either it's unaware and or the issues in the community, environmental, so on and so forth, have affected it. And we just think it's just every single day when in fact it's not. Other cultures do have this issue as well. However, they are able to afford, they are able to access. Uh, Go ahead.
But no, but isn't there also some cultural things going on
Absolutely.
in terms of how we as descendants of enslaved Africans view mental health?
Yes, there's a high stigma in our Black community. First, we don't want to say, all right, well, there's something going on with us. It may give us a sign or others a sign of weakness, so we feel, or incapability. We cannot do this job. We cannot perform this task as a mother, father, so on and so forth. Also, it's a protective mechanism. We don't want to say there's something going on mentally with us because we have to do the things we have to do every day. And also, we do care about how others see us because we do try 2, 3, 4 times as hard. So, with that, we should be able to do that when in fact, not so much all the time because of the mental health issues that are challenging us. Distrust is another one as well.
Where does that distrust come from?
It comes from years and years of racism, discrimination, systemic oppression. If I am a Black person and I am to go to a therapist or what have you, first of all, I don't know you like that. You don't look like me. You're going to judge me from what I think, as well as I'm going to have to explain my Blackness for 75% of the time until you're able to understand that perhaps this one whooping was not abuse, but it was so and so, or because we behave like this in our community. There's only 4 to 5% African American therapists, psychiatrists, PhD level clinicians. There's 86% white. So most likely I am going to encounter a white therapist.
What is it with Black folks in their business?
It's very because that's the only thing we have a lot of times. Stay out my business is
Black
very
folks in their
protective.
business.
Okay, I'm
Oh,
gonna invite you to my business is very important. Mine matters because my business is important to me. So I need to be able to open that gate. And if I don't trust you, it's not happening.
we got a problem getting in everybody else's business, though.
That true. That.
No, because it goes back
True.
when I was a kid. Me and my brother or my sister be bickering, and then we finally say, "Hey, hey, mama, tell Francie to get out my business." My mama said, "You ain't got no business."
That right there.
But when I say that is kind of euphemistic for us when we kind of describe who we are. You know, it's our
It
business.
absolutely is. We are griots. We're storytellers. Our stories, we know that they are important business to us. It is our life. So for us to tell you our stories, for you to be invited to get into my business, oh, it's going to take a lot. I may give you the front door entryway. Hey, say hello to the person at the front desk business, but you won't get through that back door until I can trust you with that. And you have to show yourself trustworthy.
I don't really go down this big rabbit hole.
Yes.
But do you think that maybe that part of that is going away now with Facebook, and how some of us are really willing to put our business out in the street?
I think that our business is still important to us, but now we put a dress, high heels, and diamond necklaces on it so it looks good, or we're very upset and perhaps we belt it out then, which in fact tells you that it would be good if we would talk to professionals a bit more often or develop trusting relationships. And therapy doesn't always have to be in the chair. A lot of times therapeutic group experiences are just being with some people that you can talk with, love on, love back. So when you say, our business out on social media, absolutely. However, once again, because we are enmeshed and assimilated, white people put their stuff out there too. We just happen to notice it more because we can relate.
Well, we know the people that's doing it.
Absolutely.
I mean, we speculated on what was going on at the Parris household. Now we kind of know. And look, my mama taught us, you better not go out here talking about anything to go on in this house.
Keep your dirty laundry at home, which could be an unhealthy thing, but at the same time, if there's something going on, you have to be able to decipher what can I share, what laundry can I wash out there, and what I can't, and it gets very mixed up.
What about the people though who may or may not, and this could be environmental, could be how they just grew up, where they have no filters. I mean, because there's a scripture in the Bible that says, "Cast not your pearls before the swines." Right?
Mhm.
You need to value yourself. You need to protect yourself, because everybody is not going to be sympathetic to your plight. People are going to use what you're going through,
Mhm.
Either as an example to feel better about themselves. You think that impacts, or what would be the impact of that? I don't know if I'm asking
I
that
believe
question.
it's a huge impact because you have to have boundaries. Boundaries are protective, meaning even if you come to me for therapy, or let's say you're talking to someone else, I do not expect you to tell me your whole story or even all the truth about it when I first meet you. Number one, it's not safe. You don't know me like that. Number two, you have to decipher what is okay to tell, what is not okay to tell. And you can tell that by a person's gestures, what they're saying, their tone, all the above, but also looking around them. Look and see, are they talking about other people? Have they told you other people's business? Are they ones that shout things to the moon or keep it close knit? There are hundreds of people that I know that have counseled, so on and so forth, and no one ever knows. And I take pride in that. So those are boundaries being set. They're protective of not only me, but also the people that I talk to and the community. So if someone is very much so saying all the business, so on and so forth, there could be a learned behavior from family members, so on and so forth. B, there could be a deficit as far as emotional intelligence, which can easily creep into mental health challenges.
I, as I was preparing the questions this morning, when we got to talk about mental health and our ability to be able to freely express it or comfortably express it, I thought about Scarface and Minds Playing Tricks on Me.
One of my favorites. That song by far was one of the first, at least in hip hop, that spoke about the trauma of life, now going through certain things because of the lifestyle that he was living, speaking about hallucinations, both visual as well as audio, thinking that things are going on around him, so that suspicious behavior, all the above.
So is he bipolar, schizophrenic?
So there could be several.
Okay.
There could be several.
Because he talks about how it impacted relationships.
Yes. Impacted relationships. The woman that was with him now, out to get them. I'm trick or treating and hammering on the ground and got bloody knuckles. All the above. As a matter of fact, it wasn't even October.
Right.
So on and so forth. So that could be several things. For instance, there could be a traumatic thing that happened. So it could be a part of PTSD because there is a such thing as PTSD, including visual and audio hallucinations. It could be a symptom of bipolar disorder. I'm hearing voices, I'm seeing things, but also my behavior is erratic
And
and
I'm
all
sure
over.
the drugs and alcohol
Had a
really
huge
didn't
part
help.
in, but that's also part of the symptomology. If I'm going through these things, I am going to try to medicate. And if I am not one that goes to therapy or goes to a psychiatrist, then I may drink or smoke, those kind of things.
Do you think that and some people can go back and forth with me on this, whether or not for some people, even things like religion becomes in their mind a positive outlet where people, we talk about healing, right? And the superstition that some folks attach to healing. I operate from, and I got to pull it up, and I got to pay for it. I don't want to pay for it. There's a thing that I just saw, an article that I'm really fascinated with, where it says that facts won't change our mind.
That is true. Facts won't always change our mind if that is something that we are deeply believing in, if it's a value of our family, if it's something that we learned the hard way because of a trauma. You could tell me all day long, the sky is blue, factual, all the things. But if I see it and I believe it, that the sky is purple today because of whatever things I've been through, whatever I've learned, so on and so forth, I may smile and say, okay, the sky is blue, but I still believe.
And the power of the mind,
Yes.
which probably came up the whole phrase or concept of mind over matter, that sometimes it is the human will is probably a great example of that. I tell the story of the guy who's in officer candidacy school. There's a fitness test. He's failed regularly the running part of it. You got to run X amount of distance at X amount of time. He get to a certain point, it's too painful. He just stops. Faced with the fact that he's not going to graduate. He's not going to pass. He said when he got to that point where he would normally quit, his will kicked in.
Yes.
So then that's a question of mind over matter, right?
Yes, absolutely. Your body may be shut down. However, I'm going to keep going. My mind is saying, this is what I need. This is what's going to be good for me. Even if you don't know this, it'll kick in. So subconscious is real. It is all mind.
I heard, and I was doing it, and I had to even correct myself. When we hear this phrase, normalized pathology, applied to the Black community, as a mental health professional, how do you respond to that? Certainly as a Black mental health professional.
You are never supposed to normalize pathology.
Okay.
I don't believe that at all. I believe that we are resilient. There are some protective mechanisms that have come out of pathology, that have come out of trauma. So to normalize that is to continue to keep us unhealthy. And that is something that we cannot allow. Those traumas, those things that have happened in our community, the things that have happened since slavery and before then. There was a time before slavery. We were kings and queens, and we still are. Somehow, some way, and we already know what that is. It was diminished and then slowly dissipated because of the traumas that we had been through. So normalizing pathology, I don't agree.
Yeah, and I think, and then, but there was something you had a very visceral reaction to when I dropped this term, when I talked about respectability politics, respectability. you had a real strong, and I think when I pushes up with a descriptive normalized pathology and then respectability, you can kind of
see the.
Why
parallels.
did you have such a strong reaction to when I talked about respectability?
Because respectability, there are no facts there. There's beliefs and values and how I think things are supposed to be, how I believe people are supposed to be showing up respectfully. the way they dress, the way they talk, all of those things. But that is not fact. Now, I understand cultural norms. Cultural norms are different from facts. And is there a fact of respectability in the first place?
So assimilation is a bad thing?
I think it's survival.
What do you
I
mean?
do not, I wouldn't say it's bad. I wouldn't say it's good. All of us have assimilated in some way. There are some cultures that walk around half naked and we've assimilated with these clothes. There are some instances where we have to speak a certain King's English or what have you, but I'm speaking Spanish. I'm speaking quote unquote not the King's English. When you assimilate, it's necessary many times for survival. However, it is not something that I think is negative or positive. It just is something that
Is code switching assimilation?
is survival. Um, I think that code switching in any culture environment, for instance, if I'm at work and if I want to make my money, if I want to be prominent in my field so I can take care of my family, friends, and culture, all the above, I may assimilate in what the norms are for that culture. If I'm at home and I know that if I behave, act, dress, talk like this, it's going to be one, then I will assimilate in that culture. So we code switch all the time.
Yeah, I think it was, and I didn't know it was code switching when I did it. Obviously, going to a PWI high school.
Mm-hmm.
And shout out to Dominican Class 83 if you're still listening. But there was a way that I spoke at school, and then there was a way I talked at home. Notice I did that, spoke at school, talked at home.
Mhm.
You said just is. So there's no value attached to it. It's a matter of either what's appropriate or survival.
For survival, if I were to say it's positive or negative, then I would be judging on how people survive in their environments. I can't judge that. Positive, there's so many books on assimilation and code switching, how it's negative or positive. We need to change this. We can try to change whatever we want, but what is today at 9:57 on a Tuesday on your show. It's part of survival, and survival leads to thriving.
We're inside Mind Matters with Dr. Leah Knox. Phone lines open 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. And of course, when I get back, we'll deal with some controversy. We'll be right back. Mind Matters, Dr. Leah Knox. Now we've kind of gotten the clinical stuff out the way. Let's have a real talk about the mind on street level. So we're going to do the caller. Caller, welcome to the program.
Hey man, you know when you were talking about code switching, I don't know what we called it back then, but when I first got into college, man, I came in talking like I was in the neighborhood, and then people would look at me like, "What is he saying?"
Yes.
Man, I had so many MFs and all kind of stuff in my language that I heard that's the way we talk back on the corner, and I had to go home and say, man, these people don't understand me, and now they want to know what does all of that mean, and I'm trying to explain it, and stuff. And so I went like, I gotta be able to, but I had to also code switch when I came back to the hood.
Absolutely.
Sometimes you adapt it so much, and all of a sudden you come home and you use a word, and everybody stop and look at you like, what's wrong with you, man?
Right.
It's like, and the one thing when I listened to that news report on that, I dealt with, how did white people feel? Man, people treated me so badly. When I got in architecture at UWM in 73, it was like 4 of us in there. And man, people didn't want to work with me. I had to do projects by myself because nobody wanted to work on with a team with me. I had professors fail me because they said, one professor failed me after a whole semester. You didn't write a book. Oh, me and my friend shared a book because I couldn't afford it, and so he didn't like that. So he just failed me. Just crazy shit. I'm like, what? Excuse the expression.
It's all right.
It's the pain.
It's all right.
The pain.
Let it out because I am with you on all you're saying.
They did stuff to you psychologically, and you're going like, now how did I hurt them? They the ones didn't want to be around me. It wasn't everybody. I had some real good friends I developed, but it was just that they were playing games with my head. I'm telling you, if it wasn't me doing stand-up comedy, I'd have went crazy. Or I'd have drunk myself to death because I had to quit drinking at the same time.
Hey, Tyrone.
Yes,
Growing up, I grew up in hyper-segregated Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
Black schools all my life. I got to the blackest school ever when I got to Parker. Probably just black. Clark.
Yes.
I want to go to school with white people. I'm tired of going to school with black people. I'm just tired of black people, right? The first thing I do when I get to the PWI, we're the black people.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
I didn't want to go to school with black people. You know what they was going like? As soon as I got maybe 3 hours, is there any black people here?
Man, he just wanted that chocolate milk.
Yeah, that's what he wanted, that chocolate milk.
You learned today.
Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning, Mr. Parris again.
Good morning.
I have to stop doing this. Redundancy. For me, I have to say this as for clarification purposes. It's not about me speaking about me, I, or me, because the me or the I is insignificant when it comes to the overall struggles of our people. So when I cite the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, it is to point to the fact that he is and has been the most successful black human being that I've ever known of with regard to bringing our people together and helping our people to understand continuity of our existence with regard to our struggle. So if I were to come on and speak like, oh, this is what Christopher has to say, blah, 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 it would not be anything. I would be just as stupid or idiotic as any other individual. And I think the best way to surmise it is this. When you teach a man, when it comes to the teachings of the Most Honorable Elijah Muhammad, you teach an individual. When you teach a woman, you teach a nation, because by her womb, her womb is the route by which change takes place. I give not a care about what any person has to think of me, because I don't know any of these
people. So then
people.
why you responded?
I'm responding to the regard of the teachings of the most honorable Elijah Muhammad.
You don't have to
Mr.
defend his
Parris.
teachings. You don't have to defend his teachings.
I
Nobody's
do
attacking.
have to defend.
No, because nobody's
well,
attacking. Nobody's
well,
attacking his teachings.
Well, Mr. Parris, if a person says that, what does the individual have to say as opposed to what has given this person purpose in life, that is an attack.
Okay.
So if you think you're attacking me by my utterances,
no, you didn't hear what I said. What I said was we're not attacking the teachings of the Honorable Elijah Muhammad.
Exactly, I know that, and I never thought that from you. What I'm saying is that when I make these utterances and I reference the teachings, your supposed or presumptuous attack on me is just that.
Well, brother, you just said it didn't matter, but then you're acting like
it doesn't matter to me about
why you tripping?
Me. I'm not tripping, Mr. Parris.
I mean, well, that's a bad. Let me apologize for the usage of that word. I'm just saying you react and respond to something you don't have to.
No,
the power of your statement.
I understand. Yes.
The power of your statement should be able to stand on its own.
And it can, but I would like to respond to those would-be detractors or supposed defamers.
All right, man.
And this is what. Can I say one more thing?
Real quickly.
Look, all right. You can be Mr. Bendover from broke.
Keith,
you can step all on your message.
This white piece of paper is nothing without these black words. Don't know what they got to do with what we're talking about. I just figured I'll say it. On to the next one.
That brother is so deep.
I tell you, that boy deep. That boy
deep. I am not playing with y'all this morning. I just got here. I will not be involved with the.
What would a piano be without those black keys?
Speaking of piano keys, I got a question. Now, since piano have keys, is it possible that they can open doors? Don't know what they got to do with what we talking about.
Yes. It can open up the doors of my soul.
Oh, Sheba. Yes, sir.
All right, I told y'all we'd go get controversial here, right? As if that wasn't.
So they're going to open up my heart.
Man, where would we be without music?
No, seriously.
Now, talking about your mind.
Yeah. Music is what really saved my life.
Yeah, I mean,
saved my life, man. So
music man, if it wasn't, I mean, it's always I have a song.
But you know what? Music can actually carry you through to when you're going through situations and you are experiencing hurt or whatever.
Have you ever been to a funeral where there's no music?
Oh, it's the worst.
Yes.
And how
all
difficult
you
that
is.
is.
You sitting with your thoughts, thinking about their mortality in the coffin, your mama's mortality, yours, looking around crying really hard because other people's energy's crying hard. Whew.
Yeah, it's rough. And the music is kind of like the bridge over to happiness when you're dealing with a situation like that. When you're in a sad moment.
Song. Y'all didn't sing my mama
song. Right? Don't not sing mama song at
that part.
It's going to be one. So let's see. What message does music give then?
And see what happens.
Right.
No, man, but I mean, it is. I don't know. Since I was a little shaver, I've always loved music. I can remember my mother would get up, and my mother was a pretty good soprano. And she would get up in the morning, and Leontine Price had did a ad advertising for the United Negro College Fund.
Mm-hmm.
And my mother would be trying to hit the notes that Leontine Price hit. You ain't hit no notes. But even when I was little, when I was at Metropolitan, we were on 9th and North. Miss Aaron, I wanted to be close to the piano. I wanted to be close to the piano because I don't know what it was. Now there's a little sordid history why my mom wouldn't put me in music classes, but yeah, I mean, so it's been my love. It's been my love. It's really been my love. Okay, I thought I'm gonna get to the controversy. Okay, I thought that this thing was going to pass with the dress. It is not. It is still coming up. So Just so let me ask you,
Yes.
Dr. Carrie Turner, Dr. y'all, Carrie Turner Bryant
Yes.
wore a dress to the United Negro College Fund dinner in Atlanta, Georgia, that set off a, what would be a word? Tidal wave?
Wildfire.
Yeah. So you told me what you thought. So what do you think? Because I want to really kind of get into, we need to talk about we talk about what was done, but maybe kind of see if we can get an understanding why people reacted or responded the way they did.
Sure. So I'll give my human opinion, and then we'll talk about the psychology of it all. I thought the dress was beautiful.
Say it a little bit louder so people can hear that.
I thought the dress was beautiful. When people choose to wear what they wear, they do it for certain reasons. I can't be in that beautiful woman's mind to know what, where, and why, or her household. Her husband was very pleased with the dress and assisted in helping her pick it out. When it comes to the word that you used earlier, respectability, I've heard that it's about respectability, especially since she is her role, her title is First Lady. So, with that being said, people think that there should be an example of how that should look. Every single human being is going to have a different opinion because that's how our mind matters. It's different. Now, we can say certain things like, oh, well, this was inappropriate, it was too revealing, so on and so forth. Others can say, this is an expression of her fashion. It doesn't have anything to do with her spirituality or religion. There are all kinds of sides, but those are the two camps. I think that mind does matter because of how you were raised, what you ingested as far as values, knowledge, belief, all the above. But then we tend to evolve at certain times. And so our environment, whether we're 6 years old or 60 years old, it may tell a different story.
I said this to you, and I saw one of the comments on Facebook. I know white people's ice ain't colder. I know that. White people got ice. All right. It ain't the issue that the ice was colder, But anyway, what I just kind of out here trying to hash it out, work through it, and spend a lot of time on it. But it's conversation. How much of it you talked about? How much is religion, right? And then religion and how. Well, let me ask this question, and this is just as an observer, asking you as an observer. Do you think that sex has an outsized presence in our religious spaces?
Yes, I think that when it comes to sex, it's every single where. It's how we procreate, all of the things. However, when people try to exit it out of where it is naturally and then blow it up to negativity or what have you, it takes on a whole different world. People stated that her dress was sexually alluring, so on and so forth. When I saw it, I didn't even think about sex. So it depends on your mind, where it's going, so on and so forth. You can't exit sex out of religion. How will we all be here? So
But it's not so much exiting sex out of religion. That's obvious that we haven't. But it is how we teach and talk about it.
Agreed.
I think that one of the things, and if you were ever a kid who was born out of wedlock,
Mm-hmm.
and just the stigma that people attached, and sometimes with people who were also born out of wedlock. I think it's how we talk about it, but I don't know. I mean, because the question we had yesterday was, should anybody be able to tell you what to do in your bedroom? And but I'm wondering how much of that was that. What about? And you said something, so let me see if I'm clear. So it isn't the person who's wearing it as much as it is the beholder of the person who's wearing it?
I absolutely believe that. So if if the person that's wearing it, if I were to go and ask them, how come you wore that dress? Where did you get it? So on and so forth. I can get what I need to have something that's factual in my head to be able to make whatever judgment. We're all judgmental. That's how we survive in this world. If we don't judge, we're not able to get to step A, B, and C. However, if I am beholden and if I don't ask anything, whatever my values, beliefs, mentally, physically, emotionally, how I'm attracted, not attracted, all the above, it's going to affect how I judge that. So if I am feeling a certain way and it is contradictory to what I think religion is, I might sexualize that dress. I might say it was inappropriate, or I might say, you know what, that's a beautiful dress. I'm not even thinking that way. But I don't know if I
Would
answered
it
your
be more of
question.
an issue if no, you did? Would it be more of an issue if she wore it in the pulpit as opposed to her wearing it to a fundraiser?
I would think it would be. For me, I won't say for me. For
For you.
some, for me, it would be a dress that she wore. And if I were to look at it in the pulpit because of the values, beliefs, so on and so forth, and then how I evolved, grew up, was in this world, so on and so forth, I may look at it differently from when I was a certain age within a certain family. And then now I may look at it differently than that. But I think it would make a difference to a lot of people.
It seems that it's so vexing when we get around the issues of sex, sexuality.
Mm-hmm.
It's vexing because, again, the influence of is that Oprah? The influence of the church on
Okay.
on a no, we're
She
looking
does
at
look good.
but I was just saying the other day how good women look in those suits.
I
Man,
love it.
yeah.
She look
She
good.
looks
She look
amazing.
We're looking
She
at
look
Oprah, y'all,
young.
just so
We're
you know,
so-
on the View. We're
She
looking
looks
at, but she
amazing.
looks.
Man.
She always looked good.
She always does.
Always looked
But
good.
that suit,
That is she's
somebody
slamming.
screenshot that for me.
She's slamming. 414-444-5250, 414-444-5250. We're inside Mind Matters with Dr. Leah Knox, and I'll get the call in because they'll start texting me saying that they've been on the phone for 2 days waiting. Caller, welcome to the program.
Lord have mercy.
Yes, good morning. Can you hear me?
No.
Okay, glad you can.
So yeah.
Yeah, I think the question is, do I want to hear you?
He answered, so I'm pretty sure. Anyways, my question, my comment, we were talking about code switching. And earlier, I was on a broadcast, and we were talking about civil rights. And a lot of our rights that we gained was through code switching. Let me explain something to you. I was trying to make this clear this morning, but I was getting bombarded. What? See, Frederick Douglass is the first black man that entered into, and that's what, and I was blamed for because I should have thought of this. In 1863, remember, Frederick Douglass is the first Negro that went to the White House. Okay, then Booker T. Washington was the second Negro that was invited to the White House. So these guys, I believe, were code switchers. They couldn't go in there talking crazy to get what they want. Those were advocates on our behalf, man, of those first civil rights that we got in 1866. But because I just jumped into the conversation and bombarded actually with what did my brain freeze up? But however, these people are the reason that we got those civil rights because they were activists on our behalf. And I believe they did code switching. I don't believe they walked in there saying, well, look here, Lincoln, we got to have it like this, or we got to have it like that. I believe that they went in under the concept of yes, sir, we do good, sir. Okay, with this attitude. Although I don't think Frederick Douglass, I don't know, he might have did. He was a runaway slave, but then you got to look at the part of the country that he came from. His Ebonics might have not been that way.
He was from Maryland. He was from Maryland.
Right. So I don't believe his Ebonics was as deep as the Southern Ebonics was with yes, sir, master, sir, that kind of Ebonics. His Ebonics might have been closer to the East Coast. Then I heard your guest say something about we were kings and queens. Guess when you say we were kings and queens, would you like to elaborate on that a little bit?
Absolutely. So in Africa, tribes, things like that, we were absolutely kings or queens. Egypt, so on and so forth. They have mummies that look like us. They have statues that look like us. But also within those villages, the shaman, the Shah woman, people like that, the mothers were queens and considered as such. Kings as well, and were considered and treated as such. So that is a part of our natural DNA and lineage, which was interrupted.
Now, all of that sounds good,
Mhm.
and I mean, it sounds really good. But do you think that all of us that are here came from royalty or kings and queens?
My family did.
Yes. There is a lineage back to, and I know that there may have been people who were not considered kings and queens. I get that. However, I do believe as a culture, because we can speak individually or we can speak as a culture. As a culture and as a people, I do believe that we have stemmed from kings and queens.
Okay, that's the culture. Okay, but do you believe those kings and queens had servants?
Probably. Well, it depends. I would think it would
No,
depend on
I'm just asking the question.
it would depend on the society. I mean, you got to remember, man, there are like 620 Bantu languages, which means that there are all these different ethnic groups that you have, and they probably had their own structure, their own hierarchies, how they manage, how they govern themselves. I think we have a tendency to look at things through a Euro lens and not knowing, because I was looking up Mozambique and Angola.
Mhm.
And what I didn't realize is that they were part of a trade route. I had no clue.
And they had slaves and things themselves.
All around the
And that's
Cape
how
of
they
Good
were
Hope.
slaves.
Listen. I got that part. So where are we getting that, giving our sisters and our brothers around here the label as kings and queens? Well, y'all kings and queens. Why
I think
are
it's
we
an
giving them
I think it's a positive affirmation. I mean, obviously, everybody can't be kings and queens. We got that.
That's correct.
But the affirmation is to value yourself, and that we value ourselves. It's affirmation. And a lot of times that, when James Brown did Say It Loud, I'm Black and I'm Proud, that was an affirmation, because you have to understand that term prior to that was a very pejorative, negative term attached to descendants of enslaved African people. So to embrace that, and that's sometimes what we did.
Yeah.
You can embrace it, turn it, flip it, make it our own. Now, I can tell you that the term black is kind of problematic to me on a sociological, anthropology, but in terms of what my lived experience has been in America, I understand. But it's affirming.
So let me ask you a question about police officers. When they come in, they say, yeah, sure, just put your arms up, there'll be no problem. And he black. Is he code switching in front of the white boy? Or is he just, would that be called code switching?
Code switch would be he shot you.
No, I mean really though.
No, I mean what? No, I mean.
Do you think we've achieved what we got by not code switching?
No, of course, code switching is. No one's saying that code switching is negative.
Not at all.
Okay.
Oh no! As a matter of fact, I made sure to say that.
It's not how you sound; is what you're saying that would make you the sellout, not what you sound like.
And I'm not sure if you heard earlier, but absolutely, I've never said that it was positive or negative. It's a part of survival.
Oh, gotcha.
Yes, sir.
So while we ain't up in the White House trying to cut a deal with the clownish people that's in office now,
that's a whole different situation.
No. If we gonna work, we gonna work. If we play,
why do some of we vote for the clown that's currently in the White House?
What'd you say?
Why do some of we vote for the guy who's currently in the White House?
Well, you can ask the same thing. You can ask the same thing to Booker T. Washington.
No, don't.
I'm asking it to you. He dead.
Booker T dead, man.
I don't know if you heard, man. Booker T died.
Slave master.
Funeral services for Booker T was held a long time ago, Jack. We talking about who's in office right now.
Oh man, right now it's lovely.
Man,
I appreciate you, man.
I knew it was coming. I felt it
Go,
in
go,
my
go.
in
Let's
my
ask Booker T.
shondo.
Yeah.
If I could ask Booker T, I would, but
Hey,
Booker T dead.
Booker.
He been dead.
He ain't gonna say nothing.
Yeah.
The Buckley, what do you mean we?
So we French now?
You listen to Community Voice. Mind Matters. Dr. Leah Knox. We're going to take a quick break. We'll be right back. We also do this, there are a lot of different groups who are doing things in celebration of Dr. King's Day. And I'm looking here, and I think this group is offset to honor Dr. King, summer of '85, friendly event. Oh, this is old. Oh, no, they're doing something here. Unite Against Militarism, Racism, and Poverty. They're going to do this in honor of Dr. King. That will be at St. Francis of Assisi's Church, 1837 North Bell Phillips Avenue, January 19th at 1 p.m. So there's there's enough. I can remember going to one of the first rallies to try to have Dr. King's holiday, Dr. King's birthday, a national holiday. And I think it was Willie Wilson's church, Southeast DC. I had a girlfriend, she was in, of all places, Medellin, Colombia. And she said, Keith, you need to go to this rally. Yeah, I know. This is and she said, and so to be able to go, Jesse Jackson was there, Stevie Wonder was there. I mean, it was be able to go and to see people do it. Dr. King's birthday. Now tomorrow we'll do tributes because tomorrow's his actual birthday on January 15th. So with that said, caller, welcome to the program.
Yes, sir, Mr. Parris. Apologize. But my reason for calling back is because I was listening to the sister, Dr. Knox. Dr. Knox. Yeah. That's right. Knock him out, Knox. That's what's up. You know what I mean? So I dig that. That's an intelligent Black woman. And thank you. You know, don't thank me. Thank Allah. Thank God for making you. Because we have to do better when it comes to our women. As the Black woman in America, the backbone, the foundation, the four corners, the 180, the 360,
the bridge,
490 degrees. You know.
My wife would always, when she get frustrated with me and I'd ask her to do something, she said, yeah, the bridge, which is my back. That's an actual book. So when I was down at my favorite bookstore, guess what I found? The bridge. So I brought it back for
woman.
Yeah.
The mother of the universe. The queen of reality. And how she has been mistreated, mishandled, just done wrong. And we just have to do better, and we must appreciate and uphold the right before us, the brilliance of you are a queen. And when the idiocy of those of us who lick the toenails of the slave master and his children, we can no longer make any excuses for the tear that exists amongst the wheat. The wheat has to start speaking up.
All right, man. Appreciate you. You had 3 calls today.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Yeah, but that is one of the things that and maybe it's just there's just general tension between male and female generally, right? But then when you put it in context of our ethnicity and all those things that impact us because of how we look, that does have our relationships sometimes suffer because of it, right?
Yeah, absolutely. Goes back since, and I know that I will say this often, but since the days of slavery and beyond, when it comes to women and men, I mean, the history is right there. And so there is a such thing called generational trauma. Men were taken away from their families. Women did have to survive on their backs, having the children, so on and so forth. Men did work in the fields, all these things. So there was a gap that was created when, in fact, when we were here, things were together before a lot of those. Now there's dissension, so on and so forth. But
I think, there was a desire, and we're going to talk about men particularly,
yes,
for their families to stay intact.
Absolutely.
We live today where it appears there's some who won't step up to their responsibility. And it seems like some have run away from it, abandoned it. But it wasn't that it was anything genetic as much as it was circumstances that then created the conditions.
Yes.
Yeah. Caller, welcome to the program. No. Oh, yeah. Okay. Caller, welcome to the program.
Good morning.
Good morning.
Good morning, Keith. Good morning, Mr. Rideout. Good morning, Milwaukee.
Tyrone W.
Yes, Tyrone W. speaking. Good morning, young lady. What's your name then? I didn't quite catch you.
Dr. Leah Knox. Good morning.
Good morning. We've talked before. Blessed and joyous New Year to everyone again as well. And I appreciate Brother Christopher so much. A lot of respect for the brother. I'm going to say this, Keith, and as a people, are we asking? There's two different words I want to represent here: reparations and restore. And I say restore on behalf of course, Greenwood, Archer Pine, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Black Wall Street. So that's talking about restoring that. Reparations is a bigger picture as opposed to our being traumatized as coming over on the slave ship. But I think if we start thinking about how we're going to restore things, Greenwood, Archer Pine, Black Wall Street, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Wilmington, North Carolina, East St. Louis, parts of Harlem, Watts, you can go down the list. Parts of Chicago, Detroit, big cities that have basically been turned to almost ash, gravel. If we start restoring, maybe we can get to a better place of reparations as a whole.
So when
you say restore, I'll hang up and listen because I don't want to go back and forth on it.
Hey, Ty, no. I just wanted you to expand what you mean by restore. That's
I mean, like I said, Tulsa, Oklahoma, Greenwood, Archer Pine, you have to restore what was partially there, which understanding what we had there will get us to, start restoring partially what we had.
Well, admittedly, you're absolutely right. And admittedly, we don't talk about that enough.
Right.
We can start right here in Milwaukee
yeah.
with Bronzeville and how its restoration is absolutely beautiful. I know so many of those Black entrepreneurs that are doing such a good job. My mother, Dr. Sheila Knox, told me about how the highway was torn down and the neighborhoods were segregated and separated. Now, those things are starting to come not to pass anymore. We think about Wall Street and how Black Wall Street is building again, if not bigger and better, but also in Atlanta. We have the Black Wall Street there in Atlanta in itself, DC, so on and so forth. So I scream that out loud because we are super resilient and we do thrive. And I think we do need to talk about that more, which in fact is something that will let us acknowledge the future. I mean, acknowledge the past, because we don't forget about that. We never should.
That's right.
That's just like Sankofa. That's the only way that we'll know where we're going in the future and what's going on.
We have been traumatized, but we do need to get to a platform to where, build me back, help me get back to where I was as far as being restored, and then we can, talk about how bad I've been traumatized.
And we help our own selves. We build our own tables, and so I thank you for that.
Love you all, but I'm going to hang up and listen.
All right.
Thank you.
Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
It has been written that if you listen to a fool, you become a bigger fool than the fool himself. I do not understand why this radio station continues to take the call of Meach. Meach never calls a conservative station because they laugh at him. Thank you.
He is community voice. And there's diversity of voices in our community. And I think that this becomes a forum for people, whether it's popular, whether you agree with it or not. We're adults, and so we should be able to hear it. I know I have people, trust me, when I'm on the streets, my tens of fans will walk up. Trust me, one or two of them will say, why you let him talk? And I'm going, well, you let him talk because it's an opinion.
And one, you don't want to be prejudiced. So you want to hear both sides of the spectrum.
I'm gonna be honest, I really don't want to hear both sides, but I have to.
Well, to tell you the truth, if you want to make a fair assessment, you might want to hear both sides.
And a broken clock is right 2 times a day.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm just saying that the act as if we're a monolith.
Sometimes you'd be right though.
We're not a monolith. And We're not. And I like to hear just because like I said, if we should, and then that gets us back to, we can talk about something, but I think sometimes we get to the point where, one of my readings of the Bible is I always try to catch these little things that really become contemporaneous, right? Like here's an example of this, right? And there's a situation where Jesus is having an argument with the leadership, right? And he's killing them in the argument. Factually, he's killing them. And then they said, some translations said, we heard he was crazy. Then they said, called him a Samaritan, right? Which was an insult to a Jew. And it made me think about how you get in an argument and how quickly it gets to your mama. You know what I'm saying?
I'm about to holler. Yes.
And that's what we'll do, because if you're losing it on substance,
then it's your mama.
That's your mama, right? And I think so. We need to be careful of that to be able to, just go and find some more facts or change your position. Caller, welcome to the program. Good morning.
Before y'all get started on me, I'm in the car. So you're going to hear probably that noise and stuff.
Okay, thank you for the preference. What's up?
Well, I get it. I understand why people get frustrated when Meach calls in, but you're right, Keith. He has his right to call, and even though it frustrates us, I think where it frustrates me, and I didn't wake up today in time to hear Michelle, but I sent Michelle an article in last night, and I don't know if you saw this, where they were talking to Trump about affirmative action in the civil rights movement, and he said that, yeah, white people had a rough time then. And so when you look at this man's history, and you look when he says stuff like that, you wonder how any black person can get behind somebody like that. And I think that's where a lot of that frustration comes in.
Well, I think
at least that's my opinion. At least that's my opinion.
For every rule, there's
and some of the other stuff he says.
For every rule, there's an exception. And Saturday Night Live they did this skit, and it was this whole thing about it started off with, they said that Barack Obama has lost a significant share of his black support. It dropped from 98% to 96%. And then they asked the question. Then they asked the question, was there be anything, I don't know if this is the same skip, is there anything that Barack Obama could do that you would vote for? Right. And then so they was going on. So they go, what about this? So then the one that got him, because they didn't know, they said, so he was married to a white woman. And you hear this pregnant pause, right? People looking up, they looking up, they looking up. And then they go, nope. I'm just saying. So but if you got the vast majority of people, and I know sometimes we give air to, but that's just a small, I'm doing the numbers and I'm not real good with numbers, but if 90% or more is supporting something, I don't know why we tripping on the 10% that's not.
But Chief, did you hear what you were saying about the joke? Right. I'm assuming that was black people that they were questioning.
Yeah.
Okay, we talking about a black man that follows a white racist. That's what we're talking about. And so let me tell you this too, Keith. And but even Stephen got to come to his senses sometimes.
He didn't. Stephen loved that white boy. He loved him. I don't think he loved him.
And
he hated black people. That's what makes Stephen such an incredible study in terms of internalized hate.
Chief, you don't think it was the power that, because when y'all looked at the movie, he looked like he was the one running the place. Until he put him in check that one time. So it probably was, in my opinion, is the power that he had over all the other black people. I don't think it was so because he checked him.
Oh yeah.
He checked him and let him know, and this is my place. I don't know what you're talking about.
Right.
But here go the thing, Keith. And I think I brought this up. I can't remember if it was your show or Michelle's show because you both made comments on it. When they came back now and they did a survey about Trump, all the support that he has lost across the board, even with his own people. Guess who he didn't lose support with? Our people.
The people that supported him.
It was still 20% with our people. Now, I know you like to say, well, George, that ain't a bunch, but Keith, you would think it's been a year now, and we seeing what he's doing, all the construction, all this that he's doing, that you would think even Stephen would say, this is too much.
No. Clarence Thomas is a prime example of that. No. There are people, and you would think that at some point that
Clarence Thomas hates himself.
They would come to, and a lot of it was my guy who used to write for the Journal wrote a book about Clarence Thomas. Clarence Thomas' issue wasn't with white people. Clarence Thomas' issue, no. His issue was with light-skinned black people who made him feel bad about his complexion. As a matter of fact, they called him ABC, America's Blackest Child. Right, so
but that's on him though.
No, but that's trauma. That can inform how you view the world. Either you can become
again. That's on him.
I know it's all of it's on us, but
he marched. Didn't he march? I mean, I saw a documentary on him. Correct me if I'm wrong.
He was a
Black Panther. Trying to do the civil. Right, he was a Black Panther and all of that.
But what I'm saying is that there was an anger. And we talked about this a little bit about colorism, and for those of us that look like Dr. Knox, like me, look like you, George, that whole colorism thing is not the same as someone who looks like Clarence Thomas. And then who made Clarence Thomas feel bad about how he looked was other black people.
I bet you Wesley Snipes don't feel like that.
I don't know how Wesley Smith feels.
Wesley Smith probably think he can find anything walking the planet.
He could, but then
he's just as dark as Clarence.
But here's the whole thing about Wesley Snipes. He's been affirmed. People love his work. People loved what he does. And you know what? There is a movement in this country for people who I had.
So Keith, let me ask you.
I had a girlfriend in college who said,
when the juicy black stuff was going on with the juicy black men, and they were finally downing you light skinned brothers, you didn't have no kind of feeling about that?
Say that again.
Okay, at one time, all the girls wanted the light skinned brothers, right? I know when we was going to school, the girls would be like, I want to.
Al B. Sure do.
Smokey Robinson.
Right.
But you know who changed the game? Teddy changed the game.
Omar Epps.
No. Before Omar Epps, before Wesley Snipes, it was Teddy. It was Teddy Pendergrass. I remember when Teddy hit, and the sisters looking at me going like, "You don't look like Teddy."
So I guess what I'm trying to say, Chief, is just the confidence that you have in yourself and how you carry yourself.
But I think there's something that I heard Dr. Knox say a couple of times. We cannot.
All right, brother.
All right, appreciate you, man. We cannot eliminate our trauma. And a lot of times how we look, if you were heavy, if you were dark, if you were extremely thin, if you didn't have long hair, right? It'd be all these things. And kids can be very cruel when they say it, but it has impact on how I view myself. If every time, like there was a couple, me and my sister was talking about a couple of girls on our block. They seem like they'd be fighting every day. They both had something in common. They were very dark skinned, and people made fun of their dark skin. Yeah. So they had to fight. Now, I also heard that, like brights were also fighting because there were people who had a perception of them
every day.
But you know what?
That was me.
But the whole thing was, and it was out here, like from about the 90s to about 2000, that all of the light-skinned, fine, stuck-up, conceited girls went to Rufus King, and from there, you found a lot of guys used to pull up at the school for let out time and just wait for them to come out because we wanted to see.
Perception.
Yeah, I was.
It wasn't the reality.
I was out there. Oh, it was reality because it was woo. They was there.
What made them attractive? Those were the good clean girls.
Where's all the good girls that make bad decisions?
Good clean girl.
All the good girls that make bad decisions.
Right.
I will keep all those comments to myself.
Lord, the good girls that make bad decisions.
So why does our mind matter?
Well, as you can plainly see, our mind matters because it tells our stories. However flawed or however gifted they are, our mind controls every single thing that we say, do, and react upon. So just take care of your mind in a positive way. It matters.
Will you come back?
Of course, I'll come back anytime.
Yeah.
Baby, come back.
Baby, come back.
You can have it.
And we didn't talk about Dolomite. Maybe next time she comes back, we're going to talk about Dolomite.
Don't get us.
Let me thank Dr. Leah Knox, Mind Matters. Appreciate you. Clark, thank you. Debo, thank you. Jermaine, thank you. Callers, we thank you. Good Lord willing, Creek don't rise. Hope to talk to everybody tomorrow. And as always, go for this place of peace.